Hey folks, Eric the old jarhead here. Just got up to the cabin. Had to get back here after our weekend. We had a wonderful weekend, a 3-day weekend over Memorial Day here. But had to come run back up again and meet with a representative from the DNR, that's Department of Natural Resources. And we're gonna look at what's over here. You can see in here it's really thick. Oh, that's really thick. And the DNR has a program where they'll actually pay you a small amount per acre to help clear some of that fuel to prevent wildfires in the future. So I'm looking into that program. I know others have done it, and you know, it's something we need to do anyways. But in any case, we're up here now, and boy, this time of year, this is really one of the best times of year to be up here. Everything's green. It's beautiful. Temperature's perfect. It's about 65, 70 degrees out. I think I saw 67 or 68 on my way up here. Panels are in full sun. So we've got lots of solar generation. And the old jarhead's back is out. You know, I don't talk much about those kind of things on my videos. You probably watch my videos and think, boy, that guy, he works hard and, you know, moves logs and lumber and all that kind of stuff and builds cabins and everything else. Well, the truth is, I am a beat up old jarhead. And the back is out. So I'm supposed to go milling next week, and I don't think I'll be able to do it. Just driving up here was quite a bit of pain. Just sitting in a seat all day. It's a 4.5 hour drive, and then there was some road construction, so that didn't feel good. But we got up, and walking around helps a little bit. I've got trouble here and there, and my lower back right now is where the most trouble is, due to injuries, injuries in the core, and so sometimes it's uncomfortable. And when it is, this old jarhead has to slow down a little bit. So I'm super happy with what we got done the last trip up here, and I'm hoping to get a bunch done this trip. I got to bring the old jarhead's Jeep out. But anyway, the DNR guy, I think he's here, so I'm going to change this battery out, and we're going to go around and talk about what we're going to do. So I'll bring you that too. You can see there's just tons of fuel in here. And I've been working at it. That's why you see some of this crap still. I haven't got it all picked up yet. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm looking at, is coming in here, and ideally, from talking to firefighters, you know, I want to try to get 15-foot separation between all trees, regardless of size. But of course, I want to leave the bigger ones, big healthy trees. But obviously, all the small stuff's got to come out. Now the stream bed down here, that's brush, and I'm kind of curious on if that's something that also needs to be cleared, or if we leave that, you know, the berry bush type stuff, or the alders, or.
And that's always tough. We do have a cost share for some brush removal. You know, looking at your property, I probably wouldn't put that in there.
Right.
If you wanted to remove some, the hard thing with brush is it comes back so quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cut it down, and in a year you got it back to this height.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I was thinking of not cutting it down, so
right.
I'm just,
that's great. And,
you know, leave it.
You know, usually if a fire's going to come through, you know, if it's burning hot enough, it'll burn anything, right?
Yes.
But areas like this is actually where it will tend to slow down. You know, it'll burn up all this dry stuff in there, but this, you know, this stuff will definitely slow it down.
Right. So this is the fence line on the north side, and we go probably 150 more feet that way, and we can walk down there.
Yeah, my parcel layer is off a little bit, I think.
Well, the fence could be off a little bit too.
No, our parcels are this layer, so it shows us sitting there. So it's probably pretty close, somewhere in here. You know, these things, GPSs could be off 30 feet.
Oh, sure.
Know? So,
sure.
You know, when I draw my polygon, and I'm just going to run it on the parcel layers that are already there.
Notice last time we were out here, I had more ticks than any other time I've been out here. Yeah, so we've got to be close. Too bad that tape don't last forever.
So like I said, what I'll do, this polygon, I'm going to keep it on the parcel layer that I have here. But obviously you're going to cut up into here.
Yeah.
So just for cleanliness sake, when I send all this stuff in, it's all, there's no, I don't get a kickback going, hey, you're not on their property.
I get it, totally. And we'll have to backtrack a bit onto Eric's. It gets kind of weird when I say I got to go on Eric's property when we're on Eric's property. Just
about right here would put us on basically on the line right in here. And really, since you're not going to be removing many of this, any of this brush or anything in here.
right.
A few trees.
Now what about these alders? Or if there's any birch, or not birch, aspen.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff's pretty small right there. Just leave that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would leave all that stuff down in this draw. You could cut out these small little conifers and whatnot, but and again, if you ever want to come here and cut some of this dead stuff out of it, and even you could even prune it a little bit, But, like I said, how wet it is in here, fire comes in here, if it burns hot enough, it'll torch everything. But like I said, this is an area where it'll most likely slow down. So
I know where we cross pretty well up here.
Does pond stay here year round? Or
no, it eventually dries up. Yeah. I think that it's been here a long time. When Draves bought the place in the 70s, he bought it because this was a lake. And it'll get full. But, by the end of summer, it's all dried and the creek is underground. I'm going to say right in here somewhere. I think this clump of trees.
Yep.
Right about here.
We're about on the line.
Okay, so actually I'm just out of shape is what it is.
Yeah, I've gotten out of shape. And I did timber sales before this, and I was in the woods every day hiking.
Right.
Every single day. Now I'm sitting at a desk.
Well, as an old jarhead.
I'm not hiking as much.
As an old jarhead, I'll tell you, it goes away easy.
Yeah.
And it don't come back easy.
Nope.
And then I actually got in pretty good shape a few years ago. But old injuries come around and beat you up. We've crossed this rock somewhere here.
Right on the line here.
Okay.
If you wanted to hang right in here somewhere and then just...
How
basically
far?
we could...
Oh, we're past... Oh, okay. So we're past the...
Yeah.
That's
so,
okay.
but we're at 4.8, so we can...
You want to just hang over here somewhere?
Well, I think if we could hang over here to kind of clean up your ingress and egress a little bit.
Right. I run my sawmill for landowners that need to turn their own logs into lumber. So I do it for myself when I can, when I need something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I run around all over eastern Washington and Idaho.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Take that small one out, prune this one up, this tree will grow, but when you're under the drip lines like this,
Yep.
they're obviously competing with these two big trees.
Yep. Yeah, well,
canopies are blocking moisture, snow, and rain from getting down into this part of the ground. It will, but
Yeah. Well, my goal is 15 feet.
Yeah.
So if it's
and that's usually
saplings,
what I put on
doesn't
there.
matter.
I usually put 15 feet. It's an average spacing, obviously.
Sure.
It depends on kind of what people want too. Around your cabin, really try and hit that 15 foot, if not more.
Yep.
And as you get further out on your property, deer like to bed down in some thickets.
Right.
You know, you want some cover for them.
So leave a little bit.
So you can leave it a bit closer in some areas where it makes sense, and then throughout the years, as you're maintaining it, if you can tell they're struggling, pick a couple more out here and there. You know.
Right. Okay.
A little thicket like this, we could run right the outside.
So what you're saying is like leave this one right here?
Yeah, we could tie it here.
Mm-hmm.
And you could leave a few in there,
yeah,
a couple of more dominant ones, and take the rest of them out.
Take the rest out.
0 to 15 feet, pretty much cleared everything out around it. Everything should be gone, and then from that point, that's where you start spacing your you know, out to about another 30 feet, and you start spacing stuff out to your 15 feet, 20 feet, somewhere in there where it's pretty spaced out. And then as you get a little bit further out, that's when you can start, you know, all the way to that 50 to 100 feet is when you can start leaving a little bit more.
So you guys wouldn't actually recommend then taking all of the trees?
You wouldn't have to.
Really?
You know, if you're not worried about, and for one, there's no ladder fields around those really.
Right.
And if we were to come in here, if it was all cleaned up down the hillside down there, and there was a fire coming towards your house, and we come in here with a couple engine crews and a dozer, I would look at this house and go, you got a driveway all the way around it. You know, it's got defensible space. We would put another line all the way around it. Maybe do a little more work down on the hillside down there. But this one wouldn't need much work.
Right.
You know.
I like hearing that I don't have to take all those down because I don't really want to take them all down. But on the other hand, the ones that are shading my solar panels, they can come down.
Sure. Sure. And the whole goal of this too is obviously, you know, forest health. You want to real healthy trees.
Yep.
We want to reduce fuels.
Yep.
You know, if a fire does come through, our goal is to keep it on the ground.
Yep. Oh no, I totally agree.
All these ladder fields where it can get up into the canopies, that's where your fire is going to carry.
Yep. Well, and one of the other things I do is I take my box blade. So not only do I box all this to dirt, but I go back over the driveway. I run the west side of the property all the way to the top, put a big loop up top, and I can't really come down the other side, but I do up top. So I try to put in fire breaks every year before. So
we can even pop up here because we're inside that polygon that I drew.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm following you.
Back in, so because this is all looks good. Obviously, some can still come out. Some of these smaller ones, but these little thickets.
Yep. Yeah, and then you get beetles, and like this looks like a beetle maybe attack right there.
Yeah, this is some sort of a damage to it. And it pitched pretty good, but as far as beetles
maybe not
getting
beetle
into
on that one. No.
What you'll really see is
the bubble.
You'll either see a pitch tube that comes out, and what's happening there is it's a healthy enough tree that has enough sap in it that
can defend itself.
When it starts burrowing in, that sap will push that bug out. If you get a weak tree that's real stressed out, that they're really packed in there, the sap, because they're all competing for water and nutrients, it's not going to push it out. So what you'll see is frass, little sawdust pockets everywhere.
Oh, right, gotcha. That'd be a more dead tree, yeah.
And that's where they get in there and they can born out and all the
right. That makes sense.
Ponderosa are a little more fire resilient.
Really?
Than your fir. A little bit. Looks like this could be root rot right here, and that's one thing that Doug fir is.
Oh, that one's dead. Holy cow! I didn't notice that before. That whole tree is gone. So's that other one.
It looks like you might have white pouch fungus on that, and what happens is it'll get root rot and you get bugs in them. You get that little white pocket of fungus there.
Yeah. So those better come down.
Yeah, and if you take those down, because you know root disease, it travels through the root system, and your pine isn't real susceptible to it. There is obviously some root disease that'll get into the pine, but when you see a thicket of your fir like this, all dead next to each other, it's probably a root disease.
Okay.
So 6.1 acres.
That little bump out. Yep.
Yeah, just add a little bit. This was the line.
Right. Yeah, because we took that little extra.
Right. But just because that's such thick region in there, that's the stuff we really want to start getting rid of.
Right.
And then come next time, you know, if you said this is all, you managed this pretty well up here, I mean, we could...
Well, I'm going to do some more, actually, kind of in this area here and around through here as well.
All right, and next time we could draw a polygon like this and do this much, and then save this for a third unit, or we could just do 2 units if you feel comfortable with it.
Well, if I get this done in a year, then maybe we will.
Right.
Met with the DNR forester, and we've got a plan to start with just over 6 acres of doing some thinning. And you know, you've seen, if you've watched any of my videos, you've seen the terrain here and the trees and everything, and it's a beautiful area, but we do need to protect it. And you know, one of the interesting things was in the meeting with him was that it's not all just about forest fire or wildfire protection, it's also about forest health, and that was a really educational meeting with him on that kind of stuff. Kind of cool to learn a little bit more about the trees and what we have out here. And one of the things I asked him, because I've had some folks on my sawmilling videos question whether I'm milling ponderosa pine, and you know, when you look around and you see these red bark trees, like that guy right there, it's pretty obvious that that's a ponderosa pine. That red bark gives it away. But there are some out there that are silver. And I actually started questioning whether those were ponderosa or not. And so I asked him, I said, is it me, or am I a little off on my trees here, but aren't those ponderosa pine? Or do we have something else out here, white pine or lodgepole? And he said, no, it's all ponderosa. So all I saw out here was Doug fir and ponderosa, and then I pointed out some tamarack. There's a little bit of tamarack out here. Some call that larch. But it's ponderosa. So anyway, I was kind of happy to hear that that's what I'm looking at. It's just a stage of the tree's growth. Another interesting thing that I learned was some of these smaller trees that have a lot of branches dying off on the bottom, they're actually a lot older than they look. What he told me was they probably were saplings that were growing under the canopy, didn't really get enough water and nutrients because they're competing with the bigger trees, and so they just didn't grow very well. So you might have a tree that's 6-7 inches in diameter that's just as old as the trees out here that are 18 inches in diameter. So that was kind of an interesting little lesson, and we found some fir, some Doug fir that had root rot and had died. A couple of them not too far from the cabin, so I got to bring those down, and I think those will be firewood. I could mill them up, but I think I'll turn those into firewood. I've got plenty of good saw logs here. But so I've got a mission to try and get that done. We did agree on a 2-year plan. I actually think I can get it done in less than a year. But with my back the way it's going right now, I got to get that dealt with. So I got to clean up underneath the cabin. I don't have any off on right now, so the mosquitoes are after me. I got to move around a little bit. Maybe that'll help. But the other problem I've had is critters getting underneath the cabin, and even though I've been putting hardware cloth under there and trying to stop them, I didn't get it all done when I built the foundation. And you know what? One of the things about building a cabin out in the woods is that you got to get some things done, and you got to get them done in a certain time frame. Doing things the way I have isn't always the best way to do it. So I'll tell you, you know, one of the mistakes I made was I thought I could get back to something. And in all honesty, you know, you just don't always get back to it. And that's kind of what happened here. You know, we built the foundation and we put a floor on it. And instead of taking the time to get up underneath there and hardware cloth the whole underneath of the floor and then put the insulation in, I was in a bit of a hurry. I'm always in a hurry. Get the mission done. You know, the old jarhead, that's what we do. Probably no milling this week, maybe 2. I know we're gonna go, we got some stuff planned on the coast, and so we're gonna do that, and I may be hobbling along, but hopefully hopefully the back's a little better and I can get some rest too, because when the back's like this, it's tough to get any rest. So hurts just to lay down, hurts to stand, hurts to sit. Quit my complaining, right? Damn jarhead. Suck it up, buttercup. Anyway, I think that's all I got for you today. So folks, as always, hit that like button for me. I'd really love it if you did that. Help spread these videos around. I know this video's cabin related and not really sawmill. So for those of you that only watch for the sawmill stuff, I'm sorry. Hopefully you enjoy the cabin stuff too. This is why I run a sawmill. And you know, ultimately running a sawmill, it's not just about making lumber, and in my case it was making lumber for my cabin built. So, you know, and other projects now, but anyway, you know, hopefully you enjoy the cabin videos. And I do have my Jeep stuff over on the old Jarheads Jeep. So for those of you that are here because of the Jeep stuff, you'll typically see that now over at the old Jarheads Jeep. Sometimes I'll put a little short or something on the Sawmill channel just so you know, hey, there's one over there. But that channel is not my main focus, I'll be honest with you. Especially when I'm not doing a lot of Jeeping, of course, you know, then, and with fuel prices today, I'm probably not doing a lot of Jeeping. It cost me 75 bucks to fill up in OMAC when I came up here. That's just crazy. That's plumb crazy. But in any case, you know, I'll put those up when we go out. You know, it might only be once a month or every other month or something like that. So that's not a main focus channel for me. Lots more sawmill videos coming out here. So if you're seeing this and you're itching for more sawmill videos, I've got at least probably 6 or 8 more videos coming out. And if you're curious about that, I should tell you, especially if you're a customer and I videoed a job and you'd like to see it online. It takes me anywhere from 4 to 8 hours to do a video, to edit one video. You know, if it's an 8 or 9 minute video, I can sometimes get them done in about 2 to 3 hours, but usually you're closer to 4 probably. If it's a longer video, up to 16 minutes or something like that, I can take 8 hours to do a video like that. It depends on how many camera angles there are and how much editing I need to do and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, each log can take anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, depending on the log. So what I typically try to do is I try to look at that and say, what would you find interesting? And it might just be one log. And so then I'll do a video on that log. Well, if I do 20 or 30 logs in a weekend, there's potential for a lot of videos there. So what I'll do is I'll try to pick out what I think might be interesting, and then I'll make videos from those. And so one job could give me a month's worth of videos. So if you're kind of curious of, you know, you hear, maybe you're on social media and you saw that the old Jarhead was in North Idaho, but the videos you're seeing are in Southern Washington or something like that. Well, that's why. It's because it takes just time once you get the video to get them out to you online. So, but that means if you know that I'm out milling somewhere, then there's going to be more videos coming. So, and I really appreciate all of you that have subscribed. If you haven't, I think in my last video I was looking about 75% hadn't subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button too. I really appreciate it if you do. For one thing, it'll let you know when more videos are out. YouTube will share it with you. You can hit the notification bell. That'll let you know right away when those videos pop out for you. And it really helps the channel out. You know, I know a lot of people ask me if I'm monetized on YouTube. Well, right now I'm not. It actually takes 1,000 subscribers to monetize. It takes about, it takes 4,000 watch hours in a year. So you have to have 4,000 watch hours in a year, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers. And I'm running probably 5,500 plus watch hours in a year, so I have plenty of watch hours. But last check, I was about 664 subscribers, something like that. So we're not quite there to 1,000. So you can help me out by hitting that subscribe button. As I said, it can take anywhere from 4 to 8 hours to edit a video. So if you like the videos and you want to see those continue and keep going, even if I'm only getting 10 or 20 bucks a month from YouTube to put those out for you, it just kind of helps. It helps cover some of those costs. And you know, just buying cameras and things like that. You know, I've probably got over $1,000 invested in cameras now since last year. I think I started 250 subscribers. I got a GoPro 9. Now I've got a GoPro 9 and the 10 and the media mod for the 10 and lights, and you know, I got some other things. So if you're wondering, you know, how I'm getting all these new angles and things, I've got clips and magnet mounts and things that I use to try to show you the different angles and how things are going. And when my wife goes out on jobs, then she's the one that's usually getting the close-up of the band. And, you know, anyway, if you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Again, you get to see the videos a little more, help spread them around, but it helps me out too. And it lets me know too that you like what you see and you want to see more of it. So enough rambling on by this old Jarhead as I knock the camera around. I'm gonna get cracking. I've already had my coffee. I've already loaded up the Jeep mostly, so I just need to do a little bit more, lock the cabin up, boom, head on down the road and get home and try to get to a backcracker. So I'm gonna try to get that done and quit talking to you. So thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. If there's anything you want to know about the cabin, about the sawmill, about the Jeep, whatever, any questions you have, drop them in the comments. I always try to answer comments. If you put a comment in and you don't see an answer right away, and usually I'm fast, that means I'm out in the woods somewhere. Thanks for watching, folks. The old Jarhead out.